Hey guys, welcome to another video from Historic Militaria. Today we're going to be looking at the Steyr GB pistol, which is a pretty cool and unusual gun. I know a lot of videos have been done about these and a lot has been written about them, but we've got a couple of variants here that you don't see very often, and just worth doing a little quick video on these. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on how they work. I think there's some great videos that explain that. Suffice to say, they are an 18-round delayed blowback pistol that was invented or developed in the late 70s to early 80s, primarily for adoption by the Austrian military. Steyr had been giving Austrians or supplying the Austrian military with a lot of weapons, and they thought they were going to be a shoe-in for a new service pistol in the early 80s with a double stack magazine that held 18 rounds of 9mm ammo. This really seemed like a good gun. Had a very interesting delayed blowback system using a gas bleed off from the cartridge when it was fired. I won't go into all that. There's great videos that disassemble them and show you everything you need to know about that. But of course, right at the time of the trials, along comes this little unknown gun called the Glock 17 by a little upstart company, and took the world by storm, and the GB sort of went by the wayside. And then when the Austrians decided, hey, maybe the Americans will, take it, because the American army and American military actually was looking for a new pistol, went over, did trials in America, but the Americans, of course, went with the Beretta 92 at the time. So the Steyr just kind of, nobody really wanted it, and only about 15 or 20,000 of these were made, the vast majority being sold on the commercial market in America. And the typical version you're going to see is this one, which is got a nice shiny blue finish with this sort of crinkle finish as well along your grip straps and your lower here, kind of reminiscent of maybe a Sterling submachine gun. And just really nice commercial finish. And the other interesting thing about these is they're going to be marked made in Austria, of course, with your serial number. And flip it over. And then you've got your Steyr GB and 9mm, and then Secaucus, New Jersey. And those are the commercial models. Will generally all have that. I can't say all of them will, but most all of them that I ever have seen have it, along with your Steyr logo down here. But a very small number of guns were made with this matte finish here. And these are known as the Steyr GB military model. And these were originally made for test trials for the Austrian military. And the Austrian military acquired about 50 of these, used them, and Steyr had a whole bunch left over. When I say a whole bunch, probably under 1,000. And apparently 937 made it over to America, where they were sold off as surplus. And as you can see, they don't have that crinkle on the barrel. They have a smooth finish on your lower here. And you have made in Austria, you've got your serial number. And when you flip it over, you've just got model GB 9mm para. You don't have the Secaucus, New Jersey, but up top here, and this is upside down, but it does say Gun South as the importer. And Gun South was a large importer of weapons pre-ban. So you'll see them on a lot of so-called assault type weapons and other modern firearms from the 1980s into the 1990s. So if you ever come across one of these, you're not going to, and you see one that has this sort of unusual, almost a phosphate type finish, you're looking probably at one of the military models. And you've got your pretty aggressive checkering in front here, which is reminiscent of this. So they did use the same trigger guard, but again, you've got your real crinkle type on the underside of this, whereas this entire gun is going to be smooth in this gray phosphate finish. So pretty unusual variant. You don't see a lot of these. I certainly have not run across a lot of them. If you've got one, I'd love to hear about it, because apparently not too many floating around. And then they also had a compensator, which was basically just a drop-in part onto your GB. This is just a standard GB. And I'm not really sure if this was sold separately or came with some guns. These all have their original boxes, but there's no place for a compensator in the original box for this gun. It was just along with it. And to put it on, it's literally just a matter of flipping your it's on the other side. Flipping your disassembly switch here, flipping it down, and taking out your front barrel piece, which slides right out with a little bit of fiddling. And then it's a little bit fiddly to get in, but this just slides right in, and you've got this really handy dandy compensator, which of course for a 9mm handgun, not really sure you need it, but it's there, and it's a 4-pattern baffle break on either side. And again, takes no modification to the gun, just don't lose this piece. And I have been seeing more and more of the compensators sort of around lately, so they are available. They do seem to bring stupid money though, so seems like a lot of people do want them. But just to give you a little idea of what you may be looking at, especially if you come across one of these. Again, if you have one, I'd love to hear about it in the comment section. If you have shot your GBs and you like them or you hate them, again, comment too. And as always, thanks for watching, and remember to like and subscribe.